Hey everyone, it's Nick with Us versus Herd. Today I want to answer the question, can you get rich trading options, or can you get rich options trading? Everybody, well, not everybody, but a lot of people ask like, hey, how can I make millions of dollars doing this? How can I do that? And honestly, the best way to make millions of dollars in the market is to start with a multi-million-dollar account. Now, I don't mean to be sarcastic. I mean, a lot of people come into options trading with the idea of getting that Lambo, getting that plane, getting that whole thing. And then they come to reality is like, man, this thing's a lot harder than I thought it was going to be. And this is true. This is true. I mean, options trading is a journey. Options trading, you have to find out what you're good at. You have to find out what you're bad at. You're not going to be great at everything. You have to find out what you specialize in. Is it buying premium? Is it selling premium? Is it day trading? Is it swing trading? And really the only way to do that is to obviously paper trade and kind of figure out, what area of expertise, and also what kind of time do you have? Can you get rich with 1 hour a day doing anything? Probably not. Like if you have no time to trade, the chances of your success are going to be very low. In business, like if you were starting a new business, if you had 1 hour a day to dedicate to that new business, are you going to get rich overnight? Absolutely not. I mean, options trading is a business. Options trading is just something that you do to make money. Now, you can obviously lose money quickly, but just like in business, if you make a bad decision, you're going to lose money. If you buy something too high in your business, you're going to lose money because you can't sell it for a profit or not enough profit. And people are like, I don't know what to do. I don't know who to talk to. I don't know what's going on. And if you don't know, you kind of have to reach out to certain communities. Obviously, Us versus Herd is a great resource. I mean, Tasty Trade, some other communities that you can kind of go and get some guidance. But it's really up to you, your personality, your risk analysis. I mean, some people are super, super, super high risk. They're like, I want to put $10,000 on the line on a trade that expires this week. And some people are like, hey, I want to put $5 up and make 50 cents and I'm good. Like everybody, you have to figure out kind of where you're at on that. And honestly, it really comes down to the person, how big your account is, and, what your actual goals are. Everyone has different goals. For me, what works for me is just being consistent. When you look at my P&Ls every day, it's whether I'm making money or losing money, I think you could say that I'm very consistent in my profits and in my losses. I'm not having big swings in my P&L. What I like to see is continuation. If I'm making $500 a day, $400 a day, that's where I'm lined up with. If I'm making $1,000 a day, sometimes in the markets, I'm making consistently $1,000 a day. And that's, something I would say very, very good. If I'm making, let's say, $50 a day, sometimes that's what the opportunity is, But the thing is, you have to make sure that those losses don't get out of control. You have to control the losses, just like in business. If you have too many losses, you're going to go out of business. Options trading is just a business. Now, people get caught up in the FOMO. So let me actually switch my screen over here to, like, let's say Tesla. And I think the biggest thing is that people are like, oh, you're so dumb. You just buy a call and it goes up. That may be true, like especially like a chart like this. But when you're in the thick of it, you can't predict the future. Like when people were in Tesla and it was going up, 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 and then it stopped, it literally burned premium. And as you can see here, like implied volatility got absolutely obliterated. I mean, implied volatility just kept going down because Tesla was just peeing between two numbers, essentially 400 and 450 back and forth, burning premiums. And what people do, because they don't know any better, they just want to get rich, is they buy far out of the money calls, far out of the money options, and they get annihilated. I mean, it happened this week. If we're looking at Tesla, the Tesla 1,000 strike calls, let me pull it up real quick here. Tesla 1,000 strike calls this week. People had high hopes of getting rich on this. And if we pull up, let me just pull up the daily here. I'll just pull up the 15 minute on this one right here. So let me pull up this one. This thing went from $12, $12.70, all the way down to being worthless. The 1,000 strike call for this week expiration. And as you can see here, Tesla, if we look at Tesla for this week, I mean, it touched 884, but it didn't come anywhere near 1,000. So people were gambling. They had high hopes of Tesla reaching 1,000. Apparently, a lot of people did, because as you can see here, a lot of calls were bought. But as you can see here, look at the volume. Volume was very high when it was going to 1270, but then volume just dropped off the next day when it opened up at 350. I mean, this closed at 929. The next day, it opened at 380. The next day, it opened at 209. The next day, it opened at 99 cents and then a penny. So options trading is not a game. Options trading is not like a get-rich-quick scheme. Yes, you can gamble in options trading, but you're not going to be able to be successful. You're not going to have the results that you're looking to have. Like you want to keep the money that you get. Like, what is the point? Like going back to my example here in Tesla. Like, what is the point if you ride this wave up? Let's say you ride the wave up and then you lose it all in here, right? What's the point of making money in the market? What's the point of trading this major rip up here on Tesla and then losing it all right here? Because what happens? A lot of times I find in my experience where people come to me like, hey, Nick, I lost $100,000. I lost $50,000. Like, people are losing a lot of money because they are winning in here. So what a lot of people do is they start winning and they start winning and they start winning and they get more comfortable. Like, hey, the more I win, the more it's going to continue. It takes 3 weeks to develop a habit. If you keep winning week after week, and look at Tesla, people kept winning week after week after week after week. And then people just had that mindset it's going to continue. So what do those people do? They start upping the risk. They start saying, hey, I want, instead of making $500, let's put up 2,000. It's like, okay, I got the 2,000 thing down. Let's put up 10,000. Okay. 10,000 is going good. Let's put up 20,000. And then they get to a point where they keep scaling up the risk, where then when they lose big. Not only do they lose big, but they lose potentially, they could wipe out their whole account. Some people go in the whole account. They're like, oh yeah, I can't lose here. Tesla's doing nothing. And as you can see here, like in the last couple months, I mean, multiple celebrities are coming out saying buy Tesla, Bitcoin, all this stuff. And I mean, it's fun. Honestly, it's fun to be on the winning side. It is. But real traders know that you have to be putting in real work to get real results. I mean, you're not going to be getting free money for the rest of your life. Yes, it's fun to take a part of these runs. It is. Absolutely. But is it going to continue forever? No. So what I do, keep my risk the same no matter how many times I win. And then once I feel comfortable, like I could put up a little bit more if I feel like it's a better setup, scaling in your risk that way. But as I'm winning, like for me, for instance, like if I'm winning on this, I start scaling back. Same thing happened on DoorDash. And I think a lot of people don't know how to deal with FOMO. I actually scaled into DoorDash at 140. They pinned it to 140, so I started scaling in. What happened then was it popped to like the 170 area. I sold it like 165. I'm like, okay, this could get rejected. I wrote it from 140 to almost 170. I'm like, man, that's $30. That's a good profit. I'm gonna lock it in. And the biggest thing where people start losing, and this is why I keep my money that I make, is because I'm not going to chase. I'm not going to chase now. And does it hurt to see that, man, it went from 140 to 220? Not really. The more you trade, the easier it gets, because I have confidence that I'm able to repeat these results. How am I supposed to know it's going to run from 140 to 220? If I knew that, I absolutely wouldn't have sold, right? But you don't know. Like, you don't know where the top is. You don't know where the bottom is. You have to build in your own risk. You can't just keep trading blindly. Like, so many people come to me and they're just like, they ask me like, hey, when should I take this trade off? Well, you need to decide before you get into a trade what your risk is. What are you willing to accept for a loss? Like, oh, I'm not going to lose on this trade. Then you already have the wrong mindset. You have to be able to set yourself up in case you lose. What are you looking to take the trade off at? Because chances are in the market, you're not going to be right every single time. You're just not going to do it. And then for a winning trade, people are like, let my winners run. I'm going to let my winners run. Sure, you could run a trailing stop, but for options, it's not that easy. If you're just buying a stock, it's relatively easy to run a trailing stop. But for options, it's a little bit harder because there's a lot more at risk. I mean, we got implied volatility, you have theta, you have gamma, you have a whole mess of things that impact the options trading price that could potentially stop you out. So yes, you can let it run, but you also want to lock in your gains because quickly, as you know, as quickly as you make money, it can come away just as fast. You can start losing money. And as you can see here, I mean, today, DoorDash fell down 9%. So people are like, oh, I bought yesterday, there's going to be continuation. The door slammed on their face. I mean, it went from 207 all the way down to 187. So this is why I didn't enter. It's like I made my money here. This is repeatable. This 3-bar play right here, this is repeatable. Pinning it, buying support, selling the rip, that's repeatable for me. I know where my strengths are and my weaknesses are. When I start chasing is when I start making more risk in terms of my portfolio. I don't want to increase my risk. I want to decrease the amount of risk. I want to decrease the amount of variables. And as a stock is running, the risk starts increasing greatly because it's gonna drop. I mean, same thing with GameStop. People are just hopping in on here blindly and they're getting annihilated. People are trying to short this, people are going long, and then the people that make money on here end up giving their money back. So it's not that easy. I mean, you can know how to learn how to trade options, but you need to learn how to control yourself. So can you get rich trading options? You can make a boatload of money in options, but if you don't know how to control your risk, you don't know how to control your emotions, you don't know anything about yourself, you're going to struggle. You have to be able to control yourself. So if you watch this video to the end, comment, watch to the end, and as always, stay safe, stay green. It's us versus herd.